Hey there everybody, Gal with Account 23, and today I'm here to do a pre-release DVD review, this time on behalf of Metrodome Distribution, and this video I'm going to be reviewing the film The Guvnors, which is a 2014 film starring Doug Allen and Harvey Sylvester of Rizzlecakes. Now I'm actually a very big fan of the kind of football hooligan subgenre within British film. The Football Factory is actually one of my favourite movies. So how does this film match up to those kind of films? Pretty well actually, I quite enjoyed this one. So in this film you've got a guy called Adam, played by Harvey Sylvester, who is the head of a gang that control a South London housing estate. He's generally not a very nice person to be around. He's very violent, very intimidating. Then you got a guy called Mitch, played by Doug Allen, who used to be the head of a football hooligan firm called the Guvnors. He moved away because the life kind of got a bit too hard for him. He has a family, he has a wife, he has a child. And I don't want to give any spoilers away, but something happens that makes him come back to his housing estate to kind of confront this guy. And a whole kind of, not really turf war, but a whole kind of like war starts. He gets all his old compatriots, if you like, to kind of run this guy out of this place. And so it's kind of like a kind of, I guess kind of a class war kind of thing. Kind of the old school and the new school, which kind of meshes quite well together, really. So we've got a pretty decent cast of British actors in this one. You've got Doug Allen, who has been in the remake of The Firm, and he's been in other films as well. You've got Harvey Sylvester from Rizzlecakes, which is his first kind of acting role. I've never really listened to the band, so I don't know kind of what kind of music they do. They got Martin Hancock, who used to be in Coronation Street. I don't know if you remember, he played the character of Spider quite a few years ago now. Is quite a tall guy. Jay Simpson, who I'm a really big fan of. If you've seen the film Shifty, he plays the guy kind of following Shifty around in that movie, trying to get drugs off him. A really underrated actor, I think. Got Charlie Paul Merkel, who I believe was one of the kind of part of the gang. He's been in a couple of British films I've seen. Nothing kind of amazing, but he's a pretty good hard man, really. Got Paul Reynolds, who is actually quite short. He was in a press gang along with Dexter Fletcher. He's decent action. He's not been in like much stuff, and to be honest, he's not in this film that much anyway. Then you got Vaz Blackwood, who again I'm a very big fan of from Lock, Stock. What else? He's a Mean Machine, and also he was one of the workers in the beginning of the film Creep, that horror film from a few years ago. Got Tony Denham from The Football Factory. He's been in other kind of. He's mainly been in kind of like hooligan films. He was in Vendetta with Danny Dyer a couple of years ago. Then you've also got Richard Blackwood, who I think we all more or less all know now. And I've also got David Essex in there as well, who obviously used to be quite a famous singer, and he was also in EastEnders about a year and a half ago for a bit. So so you got a really decent British cast, some really pretty good acting in this one. At least better than you'd think it would be, because I know that people are not a very big fan of these types of films. They tend to be quite samey. There's nothing really kind of new about them. And in this one, you could say that there is nothing really new. There's nothing they haven't seen before, but it's done in a way that I don't know. It was just good, you know. Obviously, if you don't like it, you don't like it, which is absolutely fair enough. And these aren't going to win any Oscars anytime soon, but they're just a decent kind of like lose yourself for an hour and a half. Kind of you really feel for these characters. Some really good character development. Some more than others. Tony Denham the character isn't that great in it. Who's the other guy? Paul Reynolds, he's not in it that much either. But kind of the more kind of the David Essex, the Jay Simpson, the Tony Denham is more. No, sorry, not Tony Denham. The Doug Allen, sorry, is more kind of the meat of the film. Really, kind of some of them are pretty much peripheral characters, but yeah, you got some decent acting in there. So yeah, I'm really big fan of that kind of side of it. There was one thing that really niggled me. Again, it can go into spoiler territory, so I'm trying not to kind of give away spoilers. But basically, there's a scene. Basically, you find out something about Adam in relation to Mitch, and the way they explain it is pretty stupid, because there's a scene between those two and they find out something about each other, and then there's like a scene, like there's like one scene like before this one that kind of explains it, but that's it. There's like one scene in it. There's no kind of there's no real payoff. I mean, yeah, you find out this basically you find out this thing, and then there's a scene like right before it. But the character in this scene has never been mentioned before. She's never been in the film before. It was just kind of shoehorned in. I honestly think that was kind of a deleted scene, and they just thought that they kind of, if they didn't put it in, that the explanation they have for this twist just wouldn't really work out, which is correct. But it's strange. It's just that there's one scene. It's like it didn't really belong to the movie anyway, and it just kind of explains this whole twist in one scene. That doesn't really work. But apart from that, I really quite liked it. It's got some pretty good. It's got some pretty good directing in it. Some really. I don't mean kind of like. I can't give kind of explanations why it's good. It's good directing. It just kind of is. It's there. It's nothing too particularly special, but it does the job. I really liked it. What else is there to say? There's a couple of decent twists in there. Got one or two decent fight scenes. The characters are quite hard to like, some of them, but I suppose the ones that are hard to like, you're not really meant to like anyway. I mean, the guy called Adam, he was, like I say, not a very nice person whatsoever. But I suppose you're not really meant to think that. He's the kind of the villain of the piece, if you like, and the hero's against the villain. But the thing that really did work was the kind of the generational gap between, kind of like I said, the old school and the new school, and how those clash and how those kind of repel from each other and also attract to each other as well. It's very similar, but it's just done. It's kind of like they used to be a pretty formidable kind of a hooligan gang, and then this gang in the future is kind of the guys that kind of control this place. Whether in the past these were the guys that controlled this place, so it's very similar, but it's just very different in the way it's done, really. It had a kind of maybe like a Harry Brown vibe to it, but I was thinking it was more, kind of like Harry Brown crossed with The Veteran, maybe, that film with Toby Kebbell in it, which I wasn't really that big a fan of. But it has similarities similarities to other films in the past, which is kind of lend to the fact that it's nothing new. It's nothing you haven't seen before, really. But I liked it for what it was. It's not meant to be taken too seriously. It's not like an indictment on the social issues of today or something. It's just a film. It's just kind of there. It's nothing really kind of too special, really. If you remember Top Dog from earlier this year, he was kind of the same as that. Yeah, it's kind of a cross between like kind of Harry Brown and a Top Dog, kind of in the kind of story wise and also kind of character wise and stuff. But I really quite liked it. I would definitely recommend it for kind of fans of hooligan films. The more kind of, I guess, serious moviegoer wouldn't really like it, I don't think. But I suppose if you don't think you're gonna like it, you're gonna stay away from it anyway. And now I don't think there are any special features, because the disc that they sent to me is just basically the film. So I don't know if it has any special features on it, but the release date, now on here it says the release date is the 29th of December this year, but on Amazon.co.uk it actually says the 24th, so I'm not quite sure. So it'll either be Christmas Eve or the 29th of December, sorry. It also says here that it's an 18, it's not, it's actually a 15. Got a running time 95 minutes, which is a bit wrong as well. I mean, not including credits, it is about 85 minutes actually. It's a region, I believe it'd probably be region B locked. I know the DVD is region 2 locked. And it's directed by, let's have a look, Gabe Turner, who directed the documentary The Class of '92, which I still haven't seen, but I really do want to see. And also it's co-produced by real life reformed football hooligan Cass Pennant, who was the focus of the film Cass, which I still haven't seen, but I've heard kind of quite good things about it. So yeah, it's a well-made film. Like I say, for the more discerning moviegoer, I wouldn't really recommend it, because you can kind of pick quite a lot of holes in it. You're going to think the acting not very good, but for me, I really quite enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm a big fan of kind of football hooligan films, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. I just wish that I just wish there'd be a kind of film that kind of did something a little bit different. I'm not sure what they could do differently, but it's just getting kind of samey now. Nothing's really changing. It's treading water really. So it needs that film to just kind of kick it up a notch really. Now it's not quite a kind of a hooligan film, but the film Ill Manners, which I was a big fan of. It was actually one of my favourite films of 2012. It's like a film like that it was kind of like an urban, well, not an urban opera, but kind of that kind of thing, which really worked. So we need another film like that really, and I hope Ben Drew actually kind of directs more in the future, hopefully. But yeah, I'd say give it a go. I don't know if I'll buy it. I'm not quite sure if I'll. Well, I would watch it again, but I'm not quite sure when. I mean, when I got Top Dog from the early this year, it kind of watched it, but I still haven't watched it since. So I just need something a little bit more. It's just kind of the same now. So yeah, that has been my review of the film The Guvnors. So again, I'll put the purchase links down below if I can find them, because the one I did for tax I couldn't find any purchase links at all. But I have seen the page on Amazon, so I'll link that down below. I'll link down to the DVD and the Blu-ray. The disc they sent me was only DVD, but I might pick up the Blu-ray. I'm not quite sure. I probably might wait till it's down in price if I do at all. And but yeah, it's like I say, Street Day is either the 24th or the 29th. Either way, it's coming out at the end of this year anyway. So yeah, that has been my review of the film The Guvnors. So yeah, that's about it. So thanks as always for watching. Thanks to Metrodome for sending me the disc to review. I hope to review for more for them in the future, and also other companies as well. And yeah, that's about it. So thanks as always for watching, and have a great day.